I'm going to highlight the bug with the track presets that I hope will be fixed in the near future. This is not going to be a video about blaming or anything like that. I just want to reveal it so anyone else with the same problem can have the workaround till the bug is fixed from Steinberg. So long story short is that when we are using track presets and we are setting up something with multi outputs, like for example we want to use our Roland Cloud TR-808, and please notice this is not about Roland product, this is every product, the VST that you can save as a track presets with more than the standard output, just to be clear so we don't blame anyone. Okay, the problem arises when we are using more than the standard outputs, and I've been activating, as you can see, more optional outputs there than the standard ones. And I'm going to activate the sub outputs to make this as near as a user example as you would expect it to be. And how good I can reproduce this bug, it's not clear, but I think I can make it crash so you can see it. Alright, so now we have this instrument in a multi-track setup, and now I'm going to save it as a track preset. And track presets are wonderful to save time for us, so we can just recall it. So I'm going to call it the TR-808 multi-track. Yeah, let's do it like that. And now the problem might arise quick or later when I'm going to add the multi-track here. So to explain how this appears is that we have a previewer over here, and we can disable it to avoid this bug. But the problem is that when you're loading the multi-track output once, it might work twice, but when you're browsing and the previewer wants to load it in the background, it can crash when it's multi-outputs. It happens also, for example, when I'm using Halion in multi-outputs, so we cannot blame any specific VST for this. So I think the bug relies in the media bay. So if I'm trying to mark this, it might work now, and it might crash, we are not sure. This is the previewer, as you know, so I can play the sound and I can add a track, and here we have an instance of a TR-808. But when I swap between now, when I'm going to make the search here, when I jump between the multi-output patch and some other patch, we might get this bug crashing our system, not system but Cubase. Sometimes it takes longer, sometimes it goes quicker. I'm going to swap between another multi-track and see if I can get it to crash soon. And there it crashed. This took some time now, but before I was having it crashing all the time. First time I was clicking on it and it drove me crazy, but now it took some time. So what I think is that it's a media bay bug when it's going to load it in the background, and then when it's decoupling it and bouncing back and forth between different instruments, it crashes when it's setting up or something like that. I'm no expert in that, but I'm going to start Cubase once again, and now this time I'm going to disable the media bay previewer, and I think I'm going to have it disable all the time, because I really don't find it useful, because it takes time to load, and it's a nice sometimes, but I think it's not worth the problem sometimes. I think it has to be like better ways to do this, and I'm going to fix the window here so we can see Cubase in a proper way. I like when they implement things that makes the workflow easy, but sometimes they are like introducing bugs when they are like too system heavy sometimes. Alright, let's see here. Then we are going to this guy over here, and we take this option and we can disable the previewer, and you see this window down here disappeared, so it was this one. Now we shouldn't have any preview once we are standing on a track, and what I believe is that this should not be able to crash the system then. I haven't been able to crash it. And if you want to do the same thing in the media bay, because media bay hijacks the input from the tracks when you're previewing something, which drives me crazy also, then you can do the same thing with this to remove this previewer down here, and you just going to get it in the full window so you can see this pop up here. So that's the previewer. And now it's gone. And so now when I click on something, it doesn't autoplay or anything, or it doesn't hijack the track. So for example, let's say if I have an instrument loaded here, what happens is that if you have media bay open, it will hijack the input connection here. So let's say that I have the preview on here. And let's say now I'm not in the, you can see it's playing, and when I start the media bay and stand on something, anything, it will hijack the signal at any moment. Let's see. There it has. Just a preview in the media bay, and it makes perfect sense, except for it was hanging my MIDI signal there, so I'm going to reset the MIDI note. Okay. And so sometimes I had bugs with this, that it didn't release anything in the background, so I'm just going to drop this. I think it's a nice idea, but it doesn't work very well in the practice sometimes. So this is way better for me actually, but perhaps you want to have it enabled, and that's perfectly fine. However, this is just a bug, and I'm sure that it might be fixed in the future, and I'm not sure if it's on Windows also, since I'm using a Mac right now. And if anyone is curious, this Mac is perfectly newly installed and everything, all the plugins, everything is up to date, so that's not a problem. Okay, hope you find this video useful, and I hope that this will solve the problem if you have the same problem, if you're using the track presets as much as I do.